What's up, everyone? Welcome to Sir Hunt's. Wait. Let me redo that. Hey, have you ever wondered what will be the magic part of this show, so to speak? Okay, dragons, more magic. There has to be an underlying theme in the entirety of this story that will replace the White Walkers, right? Like, during this time, there's no threat from up north coming down south. So in this video, I want to explain two characters that we haven't really seen official stills from in costume, Aegon II and Aemond One-Eye, and also a bit of history of the Hightowers. If you enjoy this kind of content, please do me a massive favor and slap a like on it. Like goal's going to be 420. Okay, so when you go to the official HBO site, you see that Aegon II is being played by Tom Glenn-Cardy. Now, the actor, I'm not really that familiar with him. I'll put his IMDb page up for you guys so you can check it out, but really I don't know him from any other work, and I didn't know him from anything until like the pictures of him on the set of House of the Dragon started getting leaked online, right? So HBO has finally sort of officially confirmed him, but we haven't seen any images of Aegon II aside from a few of the leaked images, and obviously he's not in full costume while doing this. One thing that I will say that's interesting is like every version of Aegon, aside from Aegon 1, and he's not actually listed as Aegon 2 on the HBO site. Another thing that pisses me off is they say he's the firstborn son of Viserys, and that's not actually the case. Rhaenyra had brothers. They might have died in childbirth or before they were born, right? But Viserys still had other sons, so that still counts, right? But anyway, it's funny because every version of Aegon after Aegon the Conqueror is a little bit more we'll say less of a person than the one before that, right? So Aegon 2, if you want to believe Mushroom's version, which is most of the time the most fun version to believe, when he actually finds out that his father's dead and that his mother, Queen Alicent Hightower, the Queen Consort, is going to usurp Rhaenyra's crown and crown him, he, according to Mushroom, he's in a rat's piss, He's in a rat's nest and he's getting sucked off and watching two people fuck. So it's kind of interesting. It'll be crazy to see how they interpret each historian, if you will, each person's account of these events, right? So the TV show is going to have to pick, which version of events for each episode or which scene, whatever the premise is for the entire season. They're going to have to pick an event or do an amalgamation of all of them, which may be the most fun. But anyway, what I was saying was, so Aegon 2 is less of a ruler than Aegon 1, right? And Aegon III is known as Dragon's Bane. We get Aegon the Unworthy, who basically legitimized all of his bastards. Then you get Egg from the Dunk and Egg series, who almost, like, if you want to believe the tragedy of Summerhall theory that I'm running with, and that's that he tried to sacrifice Rhaegar to bring back dragons. So it's interesting that every version of Aegon is a little bit less than the original, right? Now, we haven't actually gotten images of him in costume, but I'll put some of these leaked images up of him and Aemond. And Aemond, the actor who's playing Aemond One-Eye, is actually going to be Ewan Mitchell. Another one that's like been officially, but not so officially confirmed. Like, I think the main reason why they're doing this is because for the first couple of episodes, all of the actors they've listed on the main page, like King Viserys, Prince Daemon, Princess Rhaenyra, right, Queen Alicent, the Queen Consort, they're going to be featured heavily in the first couple of episodes, right? It's really easy to wrap your head around 15 people. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around 30 people, right? So Game of Thrones and the A Song of Ice and Fire books are known for having massive amounts of characters. A lot of them have speaking roles. A lot of them play pivotal roles in the intricacies of the story, right? So maybe that's why HBO hasn't officially released images of Aegon II and Aemond One-Eye, right? But one thing I will say is they're definitely going to be featured in the trailer. We actually seen video footage of Aemond and Aegon II practicing with the actor who plays Kristen Cole. It looks like they're sword fighting out what could potentially be King's Landing, right? So it would make sense if instead of going with Mushroom's version where Aegon II is like getting sucked off, maybe they're all practicing sword fighting. Like Kristen Cole is known as the Kingmaker, so it's possible that, they want to include him more in the series. I don't know. You all let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Lastly, before I end this video by talking about the Hightowers a bit, I will say that in Ewan Mitchell, Aemond One-Eye's description on the HBO website, it does say the second son of Viserys, and the nephew to Prince Daemon. So that's kind of hinting a little bit, in my opinion, it's kind of hinting at the rivalry, right? So they add a little bit of extra information to know, like, hey, even though Aemond is a Targaryen, you gotta realize that his death is linked to Daemon. So it'll be nice to see some sort of bickering back and forth early on. And actually, I've been sent leaked information through the DMs over on Twitter. Speaking of which, make sure you go follow me at Sir_Hunts. That is actual lines of dialogue where basically, even though Aemond and Aegon always talk shit about their strong, right, nephews, it's mentioned in those leaks that Daemon actually calls out Aemond for being half blind, and then he talks shit about Aegon for like that he has poxy because he tries to sleep with every single woman that walks in front of him, right? So there's going to be some interesting dialogue there. But I will say that the actor who plays Ewan Mitchell and Matt Smith, the actor who plays Daemon, look very similar. And Daemon is known to have a thing for deflowering maidens, and there's a reason why Sir Otto hates Daemon. It's not just because Daemon being the king's brother directly puts a wedge in between Sir Otto's grandsons. It's got to be something further back than that, before Aegon II and Aemon are even born. And one of my leading theories is that, and a lot of people share this as well, is that Daemon actually took the maidenhead of Alicent, right? So Alicent was said to be promiscuous with King Viserys before King Viserys was ever divorced from Aemma Arryn, so before Rhaenyra's mother died. Supposedly Alicent was promiscuous with King Viserys, but also I think Daemon may have taken her maidenhead, right? So that would make a lot of sense as to why Sir Otto does not like Daemon at all. So it'll be interesting to see which way the show goes with that. But relating that back to Aemon, it's possible that maybe King Viserys was cuckolded, and maybe Daemon is Aemon's father, right? Literally, you just take the D from the first and add it to the end, and that's Aemond and Daemon, right? I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about that down below in the comment section. Okay, so we're kind of running out of time for this video. If you want an in-depth history, like sort of like a character profile almost of House Hightower, not so much Alicent and Sir Otto, but more the history of it, let me know down below in the comment section. I'll make a video on it. But just to sort of summarize, Old Town is literally named Old Town because it's the oldest city in Westeros. It predates King's Landing and all of the big cities, even up north, right? So King's Landing may be more populous than Old Town, but Old Town is the oldest. Because of this, because Hightower existed, because House Hightower is from the Age of Heroes, it's said that initially it was built possibly by the First Men, right? The Hightower itself is infused stone, and when you hear fused stone with seamless ridges, no places where you could nail it together or anything like that, you automatically think Valyrians, right? But the problem with that is the Hightower in Old Town itself is very low class, so to speak, right? There's not as many decorations of twisted sculptures, of dragon heads, dragon flame, writhing bodies being burned or anything like that. The things that Valyrians are famous for including in their architecture, Valyrian sphinxes, right? Those are missing at Old Town. And because of that, a lot of people think that maybe it was potentially built by someone else, someone who was around before the Valyrians, and maybe the first set of dragon lords built Old Town. But initially, you can debate me down below in the comment section, the Valyrians started coming to Old Town to enslave the elder races. Like, yes, it was a trading port, and they would trade goods and sell things and all that good shit, but ultimately, the Valyrians are associated with slavery. They need slaves to complete their goals. And what's a better slave than a 12-foot long giant, or 12-foot long, a 12-foot long dick? What's a better slave than that? No. What's a better slave than a giant, a massive thing that just eats veggies and could literally lift crazy shit, right? So dragons and giants and all of the elder races were probably used to help build the wall, right? And Valyrians probably were like, yo, we could use these motherfuckers to mine Valyria, right? We could put them in the mines of Valyria, and they could do so much better than the shitty slaves we have over there. So there was a war that broke out, right? So Battle Isle is the actual name of the place that Old Town sits on, and literally no one knows why it was called that, except for me. I just told you why. It's because the Valyrians waged war with the elder races in order to try to enslave them, right? So all of that aside, the actual citadel, which is a part of Old Town, which is where the maesters go to form the links of their maester's chain and learn everything, was actually founded by this dude named Paramore the Twisted. He was the second son of one of the Hightower kings, and basically what he would do was he would send out for interesting people. He would send for wizards, hedge wizards, sorcerers, learned men, right? And they would all gather at this place. Eventually, that became the Citadel. So after Paramore the Twisted dies, his father or his brother, I can't remember which one, basically builds the Citadel for a center of learning. So the Hightowers are literally linked hand in hand with not only ancient Valyrians who tried to enslave the elder races, but they also founded the Citadel. They are a source of information, and that's the thing. Like, Paramore the Twisted would share information freely. They were a group of scholars and people who just wanted to learn as much information as possible. It's kind of like the Great Library of Alexandria kind of thing, right? So because of that, they have seen, not actually, but they've shared information from the past. They know the most knowledge, and they know that dragons are no good. So there's probably going to be an underlying subplot in this show, if Ryan Condal is going to do it the way it's supposed to, where the Hightowers actually, or Alicent herself, is manipulated into causing a civil war, and it's above her head. Like, her father, Sir Otto, gets manipulated into causing a Targaryen civil war, because ultimately, if no one has dragons, it's a level playing field. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Mark, and this has been Sir Hunts. Slap a like on this video. Long night reviews.